The following program is produced by Laura K. Henderson, Jen Hebben, and Michael Ray Helms under the guidance of executive producer Laura K. Henderson, with funding provided by the Irving S. Gilmore Foundation and David Isaacson. All Ears Theater. Today, All Ears Theater takes us back to Africa as Deborah Ann Percy and Arnold Johnston draw this time on material from widely known folk tales to create another story from the fabled past when animals could talk to each other and to the humans among them, and the world was full of magic. Come along and listen to Grandmother Gogo, the Zulu storyteller, as she tells the tale of The Bird Who Made Milk. Featured in the cast are Jen Hebben, Quincy Ellis, Ryan Stapleton, Ish Klein, Krista Robinson, JoVaughan Head, and Greg Reuters.
Grandmother Gogo, tell us a story, please.
Yes, tell us a story.
Oh, children, you must ask more loudly than that. What do you want?
A story.
How wooden, my children. What kind of story would you like to hear? Would you like to hear another tale of the clever jackal? Or perhaps about the Nancy the spider and his tricks?
Something different, Grandmother.
Yes, other animals must be clever too.
Very well, children. Perhaps you would like to hear about a magic bird.
Yes, a magic bird.
What kind of bird, Grandmother?
You children are so curious, and that is a good thing. Let us say that the bird was a hoopoe.
I can sing like a hoopoe. Just listen.
Clever boy, Mpilo. Now, children, Garinga Wagaringa, gather round and listen.
Garinga, Keliketla, Kosi, gather round.
Very well then, Wasuka Sokela. Once, long ago, a man and his wife lived in a certain village.
What were their names, Grandmother?
Their names?
Yes,
what were they called?
Well, the woman was called Dhamiria, and the man was Iyapo. They had 2 children, a boy called Quincy and a girl named Dumagashi. But this was not a happy family. They were always hungry, they had no cattle, and game was scarce near their village.
And where was the magic bird?
Be patient, Mpilo, just listen.
You make plenty of noise around the cooking fire, wife, but where is the food?
You know very well, husband, there is no food.
Yes, Father.
Our bellies are empty like gourds.
Your children are like locusts, Dhamiria. They eat what little we have, then they shout for more.
They're your children too, Iyapo, and you eat more than any of us.
Never mind about that. Do something useful. Take this pick and go cultivate the garden. If you have no meat or milk, we can at least have some vegetables.
And what will you do?
I am a man. I will go out and hunt.
Can we go hunting with you, Father?
Yes, let us go too.
I don't need children in my way. Stay here with your mother.
Go and play, children. I have to work in the garden.
So Iyapo went off to hunt, and Dhamiria went with her pick to clear the grass and weeds from the garden, cutting and piling them in a big heap.
The sun is about to set and I'm very weary. Tomorrow I will begin readying the soil for planting.
But when Dhamiria left the garden, a bird flew down beside the pile of grass and weeds. This was Kunguru the hoopoe, and he sang this song.
Kunguru the hoopoe am I. My magic comes down from the sky. Make the grass and weeds piled here in the garden reappear. All the work performed today in a moment melts away.
And just as the bird Kunguru sang, it was so. And in the morning, Iyapo turned empty-handed from hunting. Father!
Did you find nothing to shoot with your bow?
Well, husband, I see your children will continue to go hungry.
Hunting was bad.
I see blood on your robe. You must have killed something. You have eaten since we last saw you.
I am a man. I must have food to keep up my strength.
But what about the children?
The children, all they think about is filling their bellies. And what about you? While I was away, you were lazy and did no work in the garden.
What do you mean, Iyapo? I labored until sundown, cutting away a pile of grass and weeds to get the garden ready for planting. Come, I will show you.
Yes, come and see.
Show us, Mother.
Look at this, wife. The garden is covered with grass and weeds.
How can this be?
Yes, Mother, how can this be?
Listen, Iyapo, I did cut the grass and weeds as I said. Now I'll just hoe the ground without clearing it.
Get to work then, and see you do it right.
Children, gather sticks and we'll mark out the parts of the garden when I have finished hoeing.
Yes, Mother.
Let's go, Quincy. So while Iyapo rested from his unsuccessful hunting trip, Dhamiria hoed the garden. Then she and the children set out the sticks they had gathered. She sent the children off to bed and finally started back to the house so that she too could rest. But just then, Kunguro the hoopoe came flapping and singing and perched on one of the sticks.
Go away, bird. This garden hasn't even been planted. There's no seed for you here.
Sitty, stop your digging on my father's land. Let the blade fall from your hoe, the handle from your hand. Sods, go back into the ground. Sticks, go back where they were found.
And it was so.
Come back, you nasty bird. Why have you done this thing again?
And once more, Dhamiria saw all her work come to nothing as the bird flew away. She trudged wearily back to the house and fell into a deep, exhausted sleep. Then, in the morning...
What is this? Once again, I see no work done in the garden. It looks no better than it was before.
A bird did this, husband. A magic bird.
A bird? What nonsense. Don't make things worse by lying.
Wait. Let us set a trap for the bird. Then you'll see I'm telling the truth.
What kind of trap?
We can dig a hole in the ground and you can hide in it with a scythe. We'll cover you with brush and then I'll hold the ground again. When the bird comes, you can catch it.
This sounds crazy. You are trying to make a fool of me.
No. I'll even dig the hole.
And so it was. Dhamiria dug a deep hole while Iyapo watched, sharpening his axe.
Here's your hiding place, husband.
This had better work, or there will be trouble in our household.
In you go.
And Dhamiria covered the hole with branches and long grass.
Now I must hoe the garden again. Husband, be ready. The magic bird Kunguru is here once again.
And Kunguru the hoopoe landed on the pile of leaves and grass covering the hole.
Sitty, stop your digging on my father's land. Let the blade fall from your hoe, handle from your hand.
You evil bird, now I have you. Squawk all you want. You can't ruin my garden without paying the price. You'll never see the sun again, for I'll cut your head off with my axe.
Hold your angry hand, man. I am not a bird that should be killed. I am a magic bird.
I told you this, husband.
Magic? What kind of magic, huh? You nasty bird, tell me quickly or lose your head.
I am a very valuable bird. I am Kunguru, the hoopoe, the bird who can make milk.
Quickly, Dhamiria, fetch a milk basket. Make milk, bird, now.
Aye, the milk appears out of the air. Truly, this is magic. Taste this milk, Iyapo.
It may be poison. You take it first, wife.
Very well. This is very fine milk. Better than from a goat or a cow. Try it, Iyapo.
Yes, you are right, Dhamiria. It is rich and sweet, good to drink. This pretty bird of mine is better than a cow.
And this milk will make good butter and cheese, too.
I was a Nami wife. Come with me. We will take this Kunguru the hoopoe and keep him in a cage for our use.
And we and our children will grow fat, and our skin will become shiny with good health.
Take care, wife. The children need know nothing of this. They would tell people, and everyone would never stop begging us for more to eat and drink. Besides, Children should be kept thin. Then they will do what they are told. They can squeeze the sap from the euphorbia tree and drink that for their milk. That way, they will work for their keep.
But Iyapo...
Be quiet, woman. We'll let them have some butter and cheese, and you will keep silent about our magic bird.
And so it was. Iyapo built a cage and told Quincy and Dumagashi that Kunguru the hoopoe was only a pet bird. Iyapo never let the children see the bird making milk, and Dhamiria was afraid to tell them where their food and drink come from. The man and wife grew strong and healthy, though the children remained thin, and Kunguru the hoopoe sang his wordless song and waited.
But Grandmother Gogo, if Kunguru the hoopoe is a magic bird, why would he not just break the cage and fly free?
Yes, how is this so?
That is a good question, Ntombi, and you are a clever girl. But as you know, this is a story, and what must you do with that story?
Let it come, let it go.
Very good, children. From then on, Iyapo used to rise even in the night and tell the bird to make milk for him. Only he and his wife drank of it. The children had to be content with drinking sap they squeezed from the euphorbia tree, as well as the little butter and cheese their mother provided. The man then got very fat indeed, so that his skin became shiny, and the children wondered at this. Quincy, why does our father get so fat and we remain so thin?
I don't know, Dumangachi. Perhaps he eats in the night.
We must find out. So that night, the children pretended to be asleep and watched as their father rose and carried a milk basket to the bird's cage. Opening it, he held the bird fast by one of its legs.
Make milk, my bird. Ah, that's good. Now back in your cage. I'm off to bed.
Now the children knew their father's secret, but what would they do? Then, on the next morning...
You children, your mother will be working in the garden all day, and I will be gone until sundown to share palm wine with a friend and talk of many things. You must not go inside the house until I return, and just to make sure I am fastening the door tightly.
Do as your father says, children.
Yes, father.
It shall be so, mother.
So Iyapo set off, and Dhamiria went to work in the garden, leaving Quincy and Dumagashi outside the house, within the crow's fence of thorn bush branches.
I am hot.
I am bored.
I am thirsty.
Me too.
As for me, I say let us unfasten the door.
And go inside where it is cool.
And drink the milk of Kunguru the hoopoe instead of the euphorbia tree's bitter sap. This knot is very tight.
Let me help.
We've done it. Now, let's go inside quickly. Get that bow, Dumagashi. I'll open the cage.
Take the bow, brother.
My father's bird, Kunguru the hoopoe, make milk.
If I am your father's bird, listen well and heed my word. If you want some milk to share, put me by that fireplace there. If you want the milk to flow, to the fireplace we must go.
Ooh, that's good.
So much better than sap from a tree.
But the bird has made only a little milk. My father's bird, make more milk.
If your father's bird I be, you must listen well to me. If you two would like some more, set me by the open door. If you let me see the sun, what you wish will soon be done.
Do it, Quincy. I am still thirsty. But as soon as Quincy placed Kunguru the hoopoe in the sunlight, he spread his wings and rose into the sky.
City, I am free, just as birds are meant to be. Though your father caught me fast, thanks to you, I am free at last. Across the river now I fly. Wave to me a last goodbye.
Return, bird of our father. Come back now. But the magic bird was gone, no more than a dwindling speck in the sky, and Quincy and Dumagashi were seized by fear.
When father comes home...
When mother comes home...
they'll be very angry.
You know father's temper. We must hide.
I'll hide under a stone.
I'll hide in the ashes and cinders.
But they'll find us.
We must run away. Perhaps we'll even find the magic bird. So, The children took some clothing and wrapped a piece of cheese in a bundle. They hurried off across the wide grassland, then made their way into the jungle until the canopy of the trees hid the sky. They realized they were exhausted, hopelessly lost, and far from their home. They huddled together under a tree and soon fell asleep. And the next morning...
My dear sister, we are far from home now and all alone.
But father will be wild with anger. He will hunt us down. We must go farther.
Yes, let us head east toward the big river.
So Quincy and Dumagashi set off toward the Umkomazi River, traveling for days on twisting jungle paths.
I am so tired.
I am so hungry.
All our cheese is gone.
We have only a handful of wild berries.
And water that drips from the trees.
But they stumbled on. And by they came out of the dark jungle and found themselves on the banks of the Umkomazi. But as they sat down by river, exhausted from their flight, they heard a crashing among the trees. Oh no, Quincy, father has found us!
Now I have you, you evil children. Did you think you could escape me? What have you done with my magic bird?
We were hungry, father. We wanted milk, but the bird tricked us and flew away.
But have you lost my bird? Now you'll suffer.
Punish me, father, but spare Dumagashi.
You have both earned your fate. Never will you take the food from my milk basket or my cooking pot.
The boy Quincy fought bravely to protect his sister, but Iyapo's anger and greater strength prevailed. He tied them both to a tether. Then he threw the tether over a branch and suspended the children over the river where they dangled helpless. Please, father, forgive us. Let us go and we'll come back home.
You have no home with me. You can hang there and rot and think about what your disobedience has brought you to.
And so saying, Iyapo turned and made his way back into the jungle, leaving the children to their fate.
Oh, Grandmother Gogo, what a horrible man he is.
Our fathers would never do such a thing, no matter how naughty we were. No.
Some men are never meant to be fathers. Such a man was Iyapo. But Quincy and Dumagashi were brave and resourceful children. As they hung there, slowly turning in the breeze, Quincy struggled to wrap his legs around the tether and swing himself toward the tree trunk. And at last, Quincy managed to make his way to the trunk, after which he climbed up and loosened the tether that was tied to his sister.
Hang on, sister. Now climb down the tree. I will follow.
Finally, the children were back on the riverbank. They rested for a while, then they began walking along the river, and at last... Look, Quincy, have you ever seen such a huge rock?
It grows out of the riverbank like a mountain.
It is taller than the trees of the jungle.
This rock is pink and blue.
It sparkles in the sunlight. This must be a magic rock. So the children cried out to the rock.
We have no father.
We have no mother. Magic rock, be our home. And suddenly, the huge rock opened.
Look inside the rock, Dumagashi. Green grass, goats, chickens.
And even a little house, somewhere we can be safe. And so it was that Quincy and Dumagashi lived safely inside a giant magic rock that somehow contained its own small world. And over the years, the two children grew into a beautiful young man and woman.
My sister Dumagashi, your garden grows lovelier and more productive every year, not only full of colorful flowers, but also vegetables that you use to make goat and game stew beyond compare.
And you, Brother Quincy, have become a brave and expert hunter who keeps the stew pot full. Our life here is truly blessed.
Even so, we are all alone, without friends or family.
I miss the noise and bustle of our village.
The gentleness of our mother.
But not the cruel punishments we suffered at the hands of our father.
I wish someone would appear to change our lives.
In making this wish, Quincy forgot for a moment that the rock they lived in was magic. And suddenly, out of the river, a great crocodile sprang.
Back away, sister. I'll get my spear and kill this monster.
Wait, Quincy, look there on the crocodile's head. It's a hat with a feather. And the feather's colors are the same of those of Kunguru the Hoopoe, who started all this so many years ago. This crocodile may be a magic creature too.
This beautiful young woman is right. I am Mamba the crocodile, and I am not to be killed. I have seen your loneliness from deep in the river, and now your wish has called me forth to be your friend.
See, Quincy, Mamba the crocodile will be our friend, and we will no longer be alone. And Dumagashi sat beside Mamba the crocodile and put her arm around his neck, even though it was rough as the bark of a tree.
And now, Quincy, in return for your kissed sister's kindness, I will take you to visit my home in the river. Come.
But I will drown.
You forget, this is a magic place. My magic will keep you safe.
So, Quincy went to visit Mamba's house in a cavern deep in the Umkomazi River, and there he saw many wonders and riches, and met many smaller crocodiles that Mamba called his sisters. When they returned to the banks of the river and inside of the great rock, Mamba brought with him 10 cows and 10 baskets of millet for Quincy and Dumagashi. Quincy made a foal to keep the cattle in, and Dumagashi planted the millet in her garden, and both the garden and the herd of cattle flourished, providing food far beyond their needs. And Mamba became their great friend, as did his sister crocodiles. Then one day, from high in the sky, they saw a bird approaching, and it landed among them. Look, Quincy, it's Kunguru the Hoopoe returned to visit us.
City, I am back to tell you of the things you lack. What you need to crown your life are a husband and a wife. Now that you are fully grown, you need families of your own.
Quincy, my eldest sister, Kamali, wishes to be your bride. And Dumangashi, I would wish you to come to my home and be my wife.
I will come to your home. I choose to be your wife, dear Mamba, for no one could be kinder or gentler than you.
But Dumagashi, are you sure you want us to marry crocodiles? No matter how kind and gentle they may be, a crocodile for your husband, a crocodile to be my wife, are you sure?
I am sure.
Then it shall be so. Dear Dumangashi, kiss my rough snout to show your love.
And the beautiful young woman kissed the great crocodile's rough snout, and suddenly, the crocodile cast off his bumpy reptile skin and stood before them on 2 legs, a man of great strength and handsome features. And his crocodile sisters are transformed into lovely young women, none fairer than Kamali, the eldest sister who wished to be Quincy's bride.
Thanks to Dumangashi's kiss, I and my sisters are restored to our true selves. Powerful sorcerers, enemies of my father's house, turned us into the rough beasts we were when you met us. But Kunguru the Magic Hoopoe was our friend, and his actions brought you to us. And dear Dumangashi, your love has proved stronger than any sorcerer's curse.
Sisters, brothers, happy now. Each will make your wedding vow. Since your hearts and deeds are kind, so your loves will be entwined. I, Kunguru, now will fly. So I bid you all goodbye.
And so it was. They were married. Mamba and Dumagashi, Quincy and Kamali, with great joy and celebration.
Is that the end of your story, grandmother?
No, Ntombi, there was much more. Back in the village of Quincy and Dumagashi's parents, a great famine came upon the place. Iyapo and Dhamiria decided to leave the village and trek east to the great Umkomazi River in search of food. Imagine their surprise when they came upon a rich and prosperous village near a gigantic rock where 2 families lived in happy unity with their many children and other relations.
Oh, great folk, we ask humbly for your help.
Have mercy on us, for a great famine has come upon our village. If you cannot help us, we will surely die.
And Iyapo and Dhamiria were still more amazed when 2 of the prosperous villagers spoke to them kindly.
Mother.
Father.
You do not recognize us after so many years, but you are welcome to come to our home. Here is my wife, Kamali.
And here is our chief, my husband, Mamba.
You are welcome to live with us in peace and harmony.
You cannot mean this, Quincy. No, you, Dumagashi.
Yes, Father. Our happiness has wiped away all pains and thoughts of vengeance for past years.
Quincy speaks truly. Come, mother, father, we will prepare a great feast for your homecoming. And so it was. And they all lived happily together, always keeping watch in the skies for the return of Kunguro the magic hoopoe.
But how could Dumagashi and Quincy forgive their father for his terrible deeds?
Happiness cures a multitude of Eo's children.
But did Kunguro the hoopoe ever return, grandmother?
That is a tale for another day, children. I cannot say that all you have heard here is true, because a story is a story, and you must let it come, let it go. And what must you ask for the next time you want to hear a tale?
A story, a story, a story.
Oh, you must shout much louder than that.
A story, a story, a story.
You've been listening to The Bird Who Made Milk, based on African folk tales published by George McCall Theal in 1886 and reimagined for radio by Deborah Ann Percy and Arnold Johnston. The show was directed by Sidney Ellis, Jen Hebben, and Laura K. Henderson, with sound effects provided by Gary Brown and Michael Walschlager II. Sound engineering was by Lester Batts of Sound Solutions and Martin Clem of Kalamazoo Recording. Music was composed by Hal Hobson Morris and performed by Hal Hobson Morris and Brent Decker. This non-profit performance is copyrighted by All Ears Theater, with all other rights reserved by the authors. Any resemblance to magical animals, living or dead, or other characters, names, places, or incidents is purely coincidental. This is your announcer, Mickey Sykes, thanking you for listening tonight and inviting you to visit us again soon for another All Ears Theater presentation.